proceed with the main topic of this video, I want to show you something. I promise in one of my videos that I am going to explain to you what actually spirituality is. What best way to do that using images? I have a Pinterest account where one of my pins is spirituality is. So I'm going to scroll slowly through those images, and I want you to see what's in that board. As you can see, these are little kids interacting with animals, because that's what spirituality is. The freedom, the no caring for whatsoever on the outside of the world, being in the moment, enjoying that moment. Look at this little cutie here. You see that? That's what spirituality is. Not old guy, white bearded, white hair, but this image. That's what spirituality is. In short, I'm going to give you the definition what our real spirituality is. Is the recognition of you in another being. Look at this cute girl. She has absolutely recognized that this cute bunny that she's holding is just another part of her. Right now, in that moment, she may not understand that, but that's exactly what it is. So I wish that for you, that each of you understand that when you are going for a walk in the park and you see two squirrels fighting, or some other animals or flowers or what's not, keep that in mind, that whatever you are surrounded with is just another part of you. And if you recognize that, then that's what spirituality is. Hello and welcome back to another episode. This time it is all about the polar reversal and subjects that no other channel is talking about. It is more of a spirituality and human psyche that is involved in all this. This idea came to me, actually this is thank you to you, Tanner, when you wrote the comment on one of my videos asking to what is my take on certain things. So I am going to try to answer them right now in this video. One of them is you want to know about the prophecies about the end of times, the polar reversal and what's not. Most of the prophecies are based on facts from the past. From those that survived, they left stories behind, and then the story was written down and passed from generation to generation to generation. Parallel to that, there were knowledge and story from previous events that happened, and the knowledge, the wisdom, and all the elements of what was happening, somehow they got mixed together. And over the past 6,000 years, even though less, 5,000 years, the stories were constantly improved, rewritten, corrected, and now we have what we have. Other prophecies are coming from actual people that had vision of what is about to happen. You know that famous century from Nostradamus. He is predicting the end of the world in different time frame, but many elements that he is talking about are correct. One of them is the second sun in the sky. I will touch about that in separate video, because I will explain the second sun. Yes, there is going to be a second sun in the sky, which neither Ben or Douglas are aware of that. But I think Ben mentioned something in one of his videos that it's something like that, it's possible. Not only it's possible, it's going to happen. You also you deserve to know that many of the lines in that century, or sorry if I am pronouncing this incorrectly, they were written after Nostradamus passed away, because the people of influence, they noticed that his writings were so popular and so accurate that there were societies that they were adding stuff to it, which they knew that may happen. If you understand our past and you are aware of all the cosmic influences, then you basically can predict what may happen. Therefore, some of the stuff that is there, it's not really him. And some scholars, when they study the manuscript, the writing of his hand, they notice that there is a difference, that some of the texts were written by somebody else. Important part in that book, because that book was accompanied with a book of pictures, which were, I think, illustrations, which were made by, I think, his son. They are more important than the writing, because Nostradamus did understand that in the past, the messages that we were passing to future generations, they were either in carvings, paintings, and all kinds of visual mediums where you cannot fake stuff. You read as you understand the carving, and in the carving there is not much that you can fake it. Writing, it's constantly changing, and people that do invest time into rewrite this whole thing, they fudge here, they translate differently, some words don't fit, they change them, do some editing and stuff like that. So if it comes to prophecies, Sylvia Browne did End of Times book. It's on Amazon, I believe. Nostradamus, you can watch his stuff on videos. The History Channel has almost all of them. You can just subscribe. That is free. You don't have to pay anything. You just go and watch the videos. There are others. Almost every country has someone who was predicting the end of times, and each one was talking almost about the same thing, the same theme. It's the fire coming from the sky, it's the flooding, the earthquakes, the brimstone, the electricity, the lightnings, and what's not. So basically, the theme about that is always the same. I am going to say something now that may piss some people, because I know that Douglas and Ben, they insist that there is going to be Ice Age before and after. They simply put all the elements into one basket from all the past findings. That someone is claiming that there was a frost. I think Douglas is saying that the earth was frozen like so many inches below the ground, and then that would have to have like a mile or 10 miles or whatever snow above. This thing came not with the reversal. It was close to the reversal, but it wasn't with the reversal. What I see, what I was shown, there is absolutely no snow, no ice on either pole. There is nothing. It's just water everywhere. And the situation is a little bit different than they are describing, but that is going to be a separate video where I am trying to do a series of how this whole thing is going to unfold based on what I was being presented, what it was shown to me. And then you can pick from there. If they don't like it, they don't like it. I am not insisting that this has to unfold this way. I am only going to present what I saw, and then that's it. I am just stepping out, and it is what it is. As we all know, we have so many different characters, beliefs, people of different walks of life, where my beliefs might be insulting to group of people that they don't like that, and I may not agree with the beliefs they have it. Same thing is with how we get organized. This is something that the troubles with people getting organized were always with us, and they are going to be always with us, because that's how we are. If we were just one simple cat, one character, the life would be very boring. Therefore, by having different views, different behaviors, we add a color to this, to the landscape of the human society. We don't have to be aggressive toward each other. There might be some tensions. They are actually good, but the way we were organized before, it was a much different story. We had problems like we have today, but our objective was more focused on the goal than on having things to oneself. Like right now, well, the corporate world it's all about having stuff for oneself, enjoying for oneself, and this is like placing an ownership of something. We did not do that before. However, once in a while we go through those periods of time where we claim that something belongs to us and no one else has the rights to that. Tanner is asking how to deal with people which would kill when they are hungry. How to deal with them? The answer is get organized. Form communities or colonies where you have, let's say, 10,000 people. Like I always bring that number, and that colony should be divided into smaller tribes, let's say 2,000 tribe each, and within the tribes we should have groups which are divided into hundreds, and then we have leaders within that setting that it's about 12 to 15 people, where it's much easier to manage this whole thing, and then there's one guy who is a leader in that group. Then you don't have to go to each individual. The leaders know what their job is, and they are usually divided. The groups are divided and focused on specific tasks. Some of them might be in collecting and storing food, others repair, construction, safety. Let's say you will need macho guys within that group, which are checking perimeters that no one is trying to get in to do harm. Those are logistics that we don't need to discuss right now. However, to answer that, how to deal with those people, I understand you are talking about people that from outside wanted to come into the group. Now, within the group, there are going to be the same situations where the food is going to run short, and you are going to be pressed where people are going to start riots, be violent. There are going to be some killings. In this situation, your focus is not on preventing those things, because the more you are going to be thinking about how to protect yourself from being killed, most likely you will get killed, because whatever you are thinking about that you don't want it is going to manifest itself. Just take every day as it goes. If it comes to the moment when someone will attack you and take the last slice of bread from your hand, just if you see there is no other way to get out of this, just do nothing. The only thing you do is just bless them. That's it. You may be shocked by that. Did you? I don't know if you were watching a long time ago when John Paul II was shot. The first thing he did when he got the bullet, he blessed Ali Aksha for that act. This is very advanced he was initiated to knowledge much higher than most people, and one of those elements, when something like that happens, is you bless the person that is killing you. That's that sounds very unusual and plain ridiculous to some, but that's how you handle the situation. If you see there is no other way out of this, you can fight, but one of you eventually is going to die anyway. Is it worth it? When it comes to that point that there is a guy trying to kill you for a slice of bread, that means there is no more food. So that one slice of that bread is not going to extend your life much longer. And he might kill you, but soon he is going to be also dead. Make sense? Another question was if the major religions or powers, they are aware of what is happening. Yeah, and they are aware of that since before the Catholic Church was born. Actually, the Romans already knew that. Our society is not one size fits all fabric. It's a multi-layer society where people are organized in groups. Some of them are secret society that you already know, but there are also societies that they are not public, that people don't know about them. They are gathering people with exceptional knowledge, wisdom, and usually those are initiates from all the above organizations, where they are sort of this is like a house of elders where they overlook the whole thing unfolding, because there is a communication going on between the higher hierarchy and the other side. Believe me, just because we don't see the other side, because that's very subtle energies, that does not mean that this is not a very physical reality where the communication is keep going back and forth constantly. And I don't know if Sylvia Brown mentioned that in any of the books, but she was aware of that. In fact, after she died, I had no idea that she was dead in 2013, I think. And in 2016, I saw her. Sometimes I am being taken on a trip somewhere that is beyond my control. I don't even know how that, happening. And I was walking to the study hall, and I see there were two women, and I was looking for somebody to ask. I guess I was doing some project, and I saw her, and I knew that I know her from somewhere, and I couldn't figure out who she is. Sylvia, you know how she was reacting, like sometimes she was not holding back, she was saying stuff, whatever comes to her mind. In that moment, she was exactly like her, and I was like, who the hell is that woman? But I woke up, I got back from the trip, and then for many months I had no clue who that was. But then I saw her picture on Google. I was searching for something, and I see her picture right before she died. I was like, holy crap, that was her. Why she didn't say anything about that she is the one? And I met her on one of her seminars, and she recognized me right away because she knew the frequency. I was, back then when she met me, I was in a very bad shape, but she already knew that I'm in the process of transition. Sometimes people do have to go through shit. This is like when you are drowning, the best thing is to go down to the bottom and then push yourself up. So that was the thing when I met her, in physical, like on one of the seminars. Further to collaborate on that, if the major religions and powers know that, there is somewhere in former Russian Republic, either Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, somewhere down there, there is a futuristic city where all the religions left their symbols, their imprints for future generations. So before that was built, I think they already knew that massive change is coming, and they just want to leave in the form of artwork for the future generation to see what we once were. In fact, that city where they built it has really high chance of surviving. So who knows? They might stay there. Another part of the question was which agencies or government are aware of this whole thing. There is no simple answer to that, because each agency, let's take it Pentagon or CIA. You do understand that in the military there is a hierarchy, and within each department they have inner departments or inner cells. So each department may be divided into smaller sections where each section does not know what the other is doing. So the same situation is with this. The same thing is FBI and CIA. Within that organization, you are sitting next to a guy who is very well aware of what is happening, but the other guy has no clue what the situation is. It is just follow the rules. You have the orders, you do your job. You come, you have your contract, you do your job, that's it, shut up, don't ask questions. That's how it is in those organizations. And once in a while, those employees are being tested. There's going to be someone that during lunch or break, they will engage in conversation to see how trustworthy that person is. So to answer you that correctly, every government knows, every agency knows, but only a certain small amount of people. There are structures that I am aware of that are already in function. There are people, in fact, over there already, because to start the project with new challenges and new environmental challenges, you need to start somewhere before. You can't rely that, let's say, 5 years is good enough to get you ready to be in those extreme conditions. You need like 3 generations of people to be in those extreme conditions and or in different environment to be fit into that environment. I don't know if you recall, you can research that the ice worm project, which US military did in Iceland, where they were digging under the ice. They were sitting there for a couple of months. The explanation was all kinds of different, for the public to know what they are doing there. They were doing research, they were experimenting with something, but the real truth was to see if they can and what the equipment and how it's behaving in those conditions, and then find out that under ice is warm. Who knew? Because ice is very good. If you have ice above you, you are warm. You don't have to be worried about the elements. And people say, no, just ask Eskimos. They build igloos. It's warm inside. So it's under the ice. And then there was the guy, General Byrd, the Antarctic, the high jump. This whole thing, it was so clever. They delivered supplies to the people in Antarctic, because there were already Germans in there under ice. There was a lot of anonymity, but once the people, the commandos from all these militaries got together, then finally said, look guys, we can fight, we can be having disagreements, but in this case we need to stick together. So on the outside, what the world knows, we don't give a rat's ass. Here, we are working together. So the high jump was basically to scrap some equipment, what they needed under ice, deliver supplies in large amount and equipment, because there was a lot of stuff that was delivered there. And on the outside, they had to make this look like an accident happened or loss of people or they were under attack. That's what you know from the public medias. That was necessary to do that way, because if they told the truth, well, Bezos would be focused on something else, and so would be Elon Musk, you know, the British Virgin Branson. They would be doing something else. In fact, they are already doing. They are building rockets. They are building underground tunnels for themselves because they want to survive and restart this whole thing as a kingdom. Good luck with that. You are asking about if I could guess the plans for how they want to handle the situation. Part of the plan is unfolding in front of you right now. Yes, the restrictions, the whole thing, just to shake the whole thing. Out of this, because people are conditioned to live for owning something, they don't want to let go, and they are going to always focus on, this is mine, don't touch it, I am going to sue you, and so on. And that's what is happening right now. The US government, the US Congress, you can see what is happening there. There is a lot of mess going around the world, and slowly the corporate world is collapsing, so is the banking system. They don't really know the whole truth yet, but some of them, they are suspecting something, and that's when the things are going to go very bad. That's what in the predictions they call that the 4 horsemen of apocalypse. You see, that is mistranslated. It is the horsemen of apocalypse from 4 corners of the world. In other words, there is going to be global conflict. It's going to be very violent. It's going to be very personal on every level, where people will be demanding the ownership of one way or the other. And everybody involved in that nonsense is going to lose. The Fox, which are the House of Elders, they are aware of that. They know human psychology. The other aspect that is contributing to that, you can, if those that are watching the videos from Ben, he mentioned that the magnetic field has impact on the human cognitive behavior. He mentioned the monkeys, the gorillas and the chimps and whatever, they are fighting already. Humans will do the same thing. So the intentions are this: let the steam out and then look after those which survive. So now you know the biggest secret of all of them. Your objective right now, if you are planning to go and start drilling into mountain, it's a bad idea. The only way you will go to the next step when you start creating those autonomous zones with the help of billionaires, which they will provide your supplies, where the compounds are going to be closed for the outside world, where you have your internal security. And the more of those compounds are, the better for you. So there you have it. Your next query was if any of those institution, organization that will survive are posing any threats to those that will survive. First of all, no one knows who is actually going to survive. Having at your disposal the most sophisticated equipment does not give you any guarantee whatsoever, and we know that from the past. Those that will survive and they have no food, they might be aggressive towards just robbing you of everything you have to eat. Now, By now, if you don't have a steady supply of food, you don't grow them somewhere, then you are gonna be in trouble anyway. So having seen other people is not going to help you at all. If they are in the same situation, there is only one thing: fight to the death, or just sit down and wait for the death anyway. But if you meet them afterwards, there are lots of underground shelters, a lot. And I mean, at some point you are gonna go, you can go and pick and choose wherever you want to go. That's how much space is underground. But as I said in my previous video, that there is always, when there is the smart brother, the idiot is with him. They are going hand in hand. The idiot is always the guy who is opportunistic. If he or she is going to see that she or he has chance to have control over you, they will take it anytime. The smart brother is going to be not far from you, but the smart brother is not going to fight your battles for you. You need to take care of that yourself. That's the whole point in this life, with everything. Stop relying on institutions, stop relying on the government, stop relying on the banks, stop relying on all the nonsense that you hear and see on TV, stop relying on the phones, stop relying on all this garbage that is happening around you. Get together with the people that have similar interests. That's the only way you can go forward. Okay, and there is the last question. You want to know, where do I know all those things? How am I getting the information? How, I am aware of this stuff? There is no easy answer for that. Simple answer would be, I am very weird. But that doesn't give you any, satisfactory answer. Ever since I was little, I had the ability to see things that others can't, and hear stuff, being aware of stuff. I even, now and then, when I was little, I was under the impression that I hear animals saying simple phrases. And I don't remember what age that was. I said that to my parents, that I, hear things. They were kind of concerned with that, and I remember that they were saying that I should see specialist. Even then I knew that specialist does not mean anything good, so I stopped talking. The things went away anyway. But in life I was always interested in the unusual, and also life was repaying me with very strange events. I was very close to being killed a few times, and in 1997, when I had the episode in hospital, where I am writing about that in my book, even more, the things intensified. The out-of-body stuff starts happening more often, and it was so very realistic that it's like in real life. You could touch things, you could smell things, you can move things, and you could feel pain, whatever, rain or heat. And many things were shown to me that at first I could not understand them, but then slowly, when I started researching stuff, I could understand what is being said. There is some stuff sometimes that I am being shown that is very scientific, and no clue, I have no idea. This recently is more focused. I don't really know how those things are happening, because I don't practice that, I don't encourage that. It just happened. I am just poof out up there, and things are being shown to me. And in many cases I was even suspecting that the people from the House of Elders or High Council, somehow they manipulate that, because there are many experiments going on where you know, you are the subject of that, but it's not. It's simply not true. In one case, that I really thought that this is them doing that to me to pass some information to me. One of them was about the collapse of the financial world. When I was there, I was so uncomfortable. I was sick in my stomach. I just wanted to get out from there, but I had to watch the whole thing unfolding in front of me. So I thought that I am in danger, but they were just smiling a little bit and just showing me the whole thing, and the whole banking system and the monetary system just went down completely. I am suspecting to some degree that there is some connection with that High Council or the House of Elders or whatever you can call that, because they know that first of all, I don't have a huge follow-up. There are no millions of people following me on anywhere. I am not a famous person whatsoever. I don't try to monetize this like others do, inventing the crayon or Pleiadians or who knows what. That's why someone is trusting in me and helping me and guiding me and showing me the stuff so I can share that with you. And they know that the people that are listening to this and watching that, they are the people that they need that. And eventually those who do that, they will pass to others. And that's the whole point. It is not about the messenger per se doing a stance or being very famous, but rather listen to the message, to what is being said. I am aware that many things that I am saying, they may not be correct. And I know that they actually made that clear, that many of that stuff that you are going to be getting is static, because it is to test how well you are tuned in to those subtle messages. If you can recognize them, which one is correct, which one is not. So sometimes it may not be so obvious or clear to me if that's correct, but I am going to pass on anyway, because I want people to know. So I hope I answer the question for you in the satisfactory way. Other thing is that I sometimes meet when I am in the study hall, because many times for some reason I am over there. One of the episodes was that one was with Daniel Brinkley and one was with Sylvia Brown. You know that woman. She is really what she really was in life. She's on the other side the same way. No change. Okay. There is one more thing that I would add to this, is that I am paying attention to details, because as you know, the devil is hiding in the details. So it is when something is unfolding in front of us, people are usually looking for the big event, for the blast, but they don't pay attention behind that blast. What's there? What's the detail is? This you can actually practice if you want to be aware of stuff, what is happening around you. Try to expand your awareness as far as you can. Simple practice. When you master that, you will see how much you might become very intuitive. Just that one simple exercise, because people are usually trying to go for the shortcuts, secrets, and all the shebang that is giving them advance. Never happen. You need to master the basics. So in this case, if for you that wants to develop all that intuitive stuff, the intuitive side, the only thing you need to do is close your eyes and try to see what is outside of you, the room, the street, the forest, the planet, the galaxy, whatever. Just practice that and test yourself. Let's say close your eyes and imagine what is in the next room, how the items are placed and what color they are and everything else. And then write it down and then go and check and see, oh, okay, I was right here, I was right here. And doing that, you are going to develop more and more the intuitive side, and then, well, you're gonna be intuitive. So in closing, I just want to say that too often people are so afraid of this upcoming event that, you know, they are right now, they are terrified. They are attached to this reality so much that they don't really imagine that there can be some other life somewhere else. Besides, this episode that you are having right now, the life, is only a tiny fraction of your, you know, overall experience. It's so insignificant. This is like a weekend retreat, nothing more. So stop being attached. Let's say you are driving old Toyota, which is beat up so badly that has no brakes, no muffler, and there is a town car or Subaru sitting on the other side that has prepaid card for 1 year for gasoline, and you still want that Toyota. Just let it go. There is something more, something better waiting for you. And I understand that you are afraid not only of the pain that might come with it, but you are also afraid of what is coming or is waiting for you. The unknown is terrifying for you. Then go and watch that video from Anita Morgiori that I have on my Facebook page. I have 2 of them, and just try to pick something from there for yourself. If that doesn't work, open a notebook, take a piece of any scrap paper, pen, and start writing. What would be the ideal life for you? What is it that you do? What is it making you happy? What is your relationship? There are no limits what you can put in that. Everything. What is it that you don't want to do? What would you do if you could avoid doing certain things? What would you do not being someone? And now do one side negative, one side positive, and then pick some stuff from the positive and negative, marry them together, and then start writing your story about the life that is waiting for you. Because if you are coming from, if you are having that idea that the next life is only going to be very positive, no problems whatsoever, then you are missing the point what life is all about. There are 2 brothers always with you, the idiot and the smart brother, and they are always going to be with you. And you are the peacemaker between those 2. And you need to live with them. And to live with them, you need to let off the leash one and off the leash second one, once in a while, not all the time, but you just kind of, that flow is going to move you forward. So designing the next life, just write what you want. There are going to be conflicts, there are going to be problems. You will never avoid that. But if for some reason you won't have any problems, then you are already dead. And there is a saying, as above, so below. Believe me, assholes are over there too. I know, there are. And so I will be wrapping up. I tried my best. It was a little bit of laugh and here and there, so I hope the video wasn't that boring. I brought some stuff to attention of the viewers that they were not aware, that they didn't know. And if you like this type of stuff, please subscribe and tick the notification bell and give a like, because that makes the video go up. And see you in the next video.